Today is Sunday, January 30th, 2022. I'm Crystal Dawn Hill, and I'm here to follow up with the video I posted earlier today. I realized that I posted a short video on January 11th about why the divine masculine pulls away, and after listening to that again, I realized that it sounds like it could be a slight contradiction between that message and the one I posted today about why your divine partner or twin flame is with someone else. I do realize they sound a little contradictory to one another, but in my experience, they're both true to some degree. I haven't worked through this in meditation to be able to reconcile the discrepancy between the two messages, but I am aware that that discrepancy is present, and I will work through that and find where they can be harmonized or meshed into one full message that is understandable or comprehensible, I guess I should say. So for the moment, I just want to work through that best I can in real time, because I know that there's probably many people out there who, when they're working through things about their divine partner, they come across these discrepancies, and sometimes it can be hard to really process and find where the discrepancy can be reconciled. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do in real time right now. So in my message on the 11th, I said that the reason the divine masculine pulls away is because he isn't able to feel the connection when he reaches out in 3D. So that can be true, because I've had that experience as well. For example, when he and I first connected, I felt a lot of metaphysical phenomenon. I felt our chakras clicking together. I felt my kundalini be awakened. I felt my heart chakra explode, and I felt our energies merging together and becoming enmeshed in one another, and like they were one essence that had been temporarily parted and were rejoicing in that they were able to blend back together again. And that was creating a very heightened sense of joy within me, and I could also feel that same sense of joy within him. So when he started to pull away, I didn't know at the time, but looking back, it felt like he was doing that because the energy that we were feeling was far too intense to be able to endure on a consistent basis. And I was loving it. I was just relishing in it. But I know that it even though I was relishing in it, it was still very overwhelming, and I still needed breaks. And I think that we each recognize that and, gave ourselves the break we needed, even though we didn't communicate that to one another verbally. But then when we pulled away and we were able to feel a sense of groundedness and calm, then we were able to regulate our energy field and feel more balanced and centered. And I know that like when he would come back and reach out again, each time that the energy, it still spiked, but it spiked a little less each time. So I know that that was a process of us gaining more and more harmony and balance with one another. And I know, looking back, I noticed that the times that he would step back in were times when I was starting to feel like I wasn't in the energy anymore. I was starting to feel more contained within myself rather than our energy being blended together. So I don't know what he was feeling on his end at the times just before he was stepping back in, because he never verbalized that to me. But I think on his end, he must have been feeling that separateness as well, and wanted to be able to feel that blissful energy again, even though too much of it at once is overwhelming and can't last for long periods of time. The sad thing about that is when he stays away for an extended period of time, like several months, then he doesn't give himself the opportunity to be able to observe the connection that we share, because he's not interacting with me. He's not able to observe that. And even though he can still feel it, he's being able to observe it kind of gives him that assurance that it's not going to stay the same forever, for as long as we stay connected. So that's just a little bit of a more in-depth explanation as to what I meant when I said as far as stepping away to be able to feel the feeling again. So as far as my video today, in which I was discussing why our divine partner is with someone else, as I said, I haven't meditated on how to reconcile those two things, but I do feel on a very deep level that somehow they are interconnected, and there is an overlap where they reconcile each other, and they're not a total discrepancy or contradiction of one another. So when I was discussing the string that binds the twins together, and then the one that connects the divine partner with their person that they're in relationship with, and how the other twin can feel that other person, I think somehow they correlate with each other. And essentially, I suppose what I'm saying is the energy may be similar with the catalyst, for example, but it's not as intense. So they can be with that other person and still experience their twin's energy through that other person, but it's kind of filtered so that they don't feel it to the same degree that they would by interacting with their twin directly. And the catalyst is just to give the person a larger bite. For example, of the energy, to give them a more concentrated taste of what the twin is going to be like without having to endure that feeling of overwhelm that they feel maybe a little bit before they're ready. And so the catalyst just prepares them for that. And what happens, and I didn't go into this in the other video, but I think it's worth noting that what happens is they reach a point with their catalyst where they're able to recognize that the emptiness kind of sets back in. And when they, and I don't mean that this is done consciously, it could very well be subconsciously, because that's what happened to me, because I hadn't even met him when I was with my catalyst. But that feeling of emptiness sets back in, and when you reflect on that emptiness, you realize that it gets filled back up, but not with that person that you thought could fill it up. So I think that's everything that I wanted to cover and a little bit more. So I hope that this helps make more sense of the discrepancy between my January 11th video and the one I did earlier today. So thank you all very much once more for following along, and all the best to you along your journey as well. Have a wonderful day.